Hello, everyone. My name is James Duff.
My name is Emily Rutherford.
My name is Sayon Tully.
My name is John Paul Burns.
My name is Ethan Moots.
And we are Small Campus, Big Impact. Today in our podcast, we're going to be talking about the sustainable ways of Northwood University and talking with some members of the Northwood community about their perspective on sustainability.
From environmental effects to social and economic innovation, sustainability surrounds us on Northwood's campus. We're going to take a deep dive into what we have done, are currently doing, and what the future of sustainability looks like for Northwood University.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Small Campus, Big Impact. My name is James Duff, and I'm going to be your host today. I'm a sophomore here at Northwood University, majoring in automotive aftermarket management with a minor in sustainability.
My name is Ethan Moots. I'm a senior at Northwood, majoring in aftermarket automotive as well, and I'll be James' co-host for today's show. So a lot of you might be wondering, what is Small Campus Big Impact? Small Campus Big Impact is a podcast started by our sustainability science class to draw awareness to sustainability around Northwood's campus. As business students, we want to highlight the impacts of sustainability not only environmentally, but socially and economically. All three pillars are essential as they work to reduce our environmental impact, strengthen our community, and promote positive, responsible citizenship. We strive to accomplish this using the perspectives of some of our very own. So with that, joining us today will be Physical Plant Supervisor Tom Plasterz, Student Recycling Program Coordinator Luke Kozak, as well as our very own Northwood University President, Dr. Kent MacDonald, to discuss what sustainability looks like at our campus. So today we have here with us our Physical Plant Supervisor and Plant Operations, Tom Plasterz. So if you'd like to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what you do here at Northwood.
We're actually a service for the students. We do repairs. We help out on every event. We set up events. Pretty much we're here for the kids. So whatever you need, we're there for you.
So if you'd like to also just kind of as a little icebreaker, tell us what your favorite thing is about kind of what you do at Northwood. Just what's your favorite thing?
My favorite thing, the students.
Yep.
Like Auto Show receiving a thank you letter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that touches your heart.
Yeah.
Same with fashion show. Another favorite thing is on volunteer day, you look over and there's the president and his wife, throwing mulch.
Yeah.
So the culture in the community of Northwood is just, it's awesome.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly. So kind of diving into things, being a part of Physical Plant, I'm sure you see sustainability kind of throughout your everyday life. What motivates you to be sustainable, and how do you think that we can kind of spread that message or that same energy to our students?
Well, I'll start it out with a project with the kids, and the president supported it. So with the help of students, thank God, it got off the ground. I mean, it's going great.
Mm-hmm.
The recycling plant. As far as sustainability on campus, there is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's software for the heating and cooling. LED lights we're switching over. Oh, there's a good one. Like boilers.
Really?
Our old ones are running 100%,
Mm-hmm.
and our new ones are doing the same job at 35.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of amazing.
Right. I think it's interesting to see that, it is somewhat of a polarized topic. Like, it's this big subject, but some of the things that have the most effect as far as sustainability goes
Right.
are little things you don't see every
Yeah,
day.
you don't.
Like most of the buildings with automatic lights that save whatever percentage on your electricity bill every year and run more efficiently.
Oh, yeah.
When I open the door to a room, I don't notice, oh, hey, we're saving some money doing this. We're saving some power, we're not
Yeah.
pulling off the grid unnecessarily. And I think you're in a really good position to, know a lot of those little intricacies because you handle those things every
Right.
day, right? So I think it's just a matter of drawing awareness for some people that, we are very sustainable. Maybe it's not in front of your face, but there's little bits and pieces of it all around campus that contribute to the bigger picture of
Right.
it, right?
Right. So even I get complaints on rooms being cold.
Mm-hmm.
That's because they're unoccupied. The heat goes down.
Mm-hmm.
So if you pass through there an hour before your meetings or whatever, when you go to your meeting, it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's efficient as far as wasting heat.
Right.
You're not wasting heat.
Right. And that's one of the little things. We just think our room's cold.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
It's
I
that
get a
little
lot of complaints.
There's a
aspect.
lot that goes into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with all the other construction happening on campus as well, so like whether that be with what's happening with the NADA and stuff like that, is there certain other features that you are kind of integrating into that while part of that construction?
So it'll have smart heating, it'll have smart lighting, boiler upgrades. So
Mhm.
I mean, you're gonna save just doing that. You're gonna save thousands
Right.
just by upgrading. And
Right.
also with the new turf, I mean, just the labor that's involved to keep that soccer field up is intense.
Right.
Mhm.
So, and you get to play on it all year long.
Exactly. That's the nice part.
So telling you can't play because the sod's too wet, I mean, we don't want to have to say that,
Yeah.
Exactly.
you know.
Right.
And now with that, we won't.
And it saves on upkeep, it saves on labor cost,
Right.
and
Fertilizer, pesticides. We're even talking saves on leaching into the soil.
right.
You know, there's a lot of variables just by putting that in.
Right. And there's, this is kind of the basis of the podcast, but there's three pillars of sustainability. It's not just environmental, it's socially and economically. So the economic effects of it is it's saving money for the university. And then socially, we're giving our athletes a place where they can play year round. It adds to the appeal of campus. We have such
Oh,
a
it does.
beautiful
It does.
campus.
Mhm.
Yeah, so during your time at Northwood, you want to talk about some of the sustainability initiatives you've been a part of? I know you've been really involved with our last guest, Luke, on
Oh,
the
yeah.
recycling program. And then obviously, I'm sure you've been a part of quite a few projects on campus, whether it's been during me and James' time or before
Mhm.
us. If you want to touch on some of those and, some of the things you've been involved in, that'd be great. We've heard the story about the golf cart that you
Mhm.
pulled from the
Oh,
flood.
right. So the golf cart, I seen that, and it's like I had two choices: throw it in a landfill or resurrect it. And
Right.
it's like, hey, I could use that for the recycling center.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So that worked out great. And another thing was the city of Midland pulled all the waste management trash cans.
Really?
Yeah, so I went by and it's like, wonder what they're going to be doing with those.
Mm-hmm.
So I went over and I got like 35 for free.
Wow.
Yeah, so that worked out great. I mean, everything's just fell into place.
Sure.
Mhm.
And then also with the recycling center, we don't get overfill. They don't hit us on fees for overfill because a lot of our boxes are broke down and go
Mm-hmm.
down a physical plant instead of sticking out of the dumpster and getting a $150 fine.
Right.
because yeah.
Right.
And also, I don't know, I would say we make at least $125 profit every month by doing what we do for recycling
Really?
as compared to not.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're not getting contamination fees anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually making money.
Yeah.
I know, which
That's awesome.
recycling, if you break even or even make a dime, I mean, you're doing great. You're
Exactly.
actually making a
Making
profit.
money.
in the long
Exactly.
run. I
Right.
think so.
It's such a beautiful place set back in the woods,
It
and
is.
it's a very special place to a lot of Northwood students. I know I love the setting of campus, so just being able to take care of it, and it's a place for our community
It
as
is.
well. It reflects back on us too. So I think that all those initiatives are great, and I think you've been doing some really cool work with some students.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a town inside of a town. I
Right.
mean, we're self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want your community to look good
Exactly.
or not? I mean, it's
Yeah.
up to you. And another spin-off of that recycling and sustainability would be the biodiversity spots we have.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I mean, those just labor alone is, I mean, we're talking 2.5 days, 7 hours a day. So that's 14 hours every week that we don't have to maintain that.
Right.
I mean, that's a big savings.
Right.
That and the wildlife love it.
Sure.
Yep.
So I'm trying to get them off the ground a little better with wildflowers and that,
Mhm.
but sometimes you don't have the best of luck.
Right.
But I'm still working on it. Same with the fence over at Jordan. We're supposed to have an ivy fence.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then when you leave here, if you want a keepsake, and clip a little piece of that ivy and take it home.
We want to thank you for your time today, Tom.
problem.
You're a busy guy. We know you got a lot of stuff going on. So just taking a little bit of time out of your day to sit down with us and
Always willing to stop and,
Right.
help the kids out. So
Right, and it's easy to see that you say that you put the students first, and your actions reflect that. And I think that's very respectable. And I've had my own experiences to say that's true. So, yeah, thank you for your time today, and we're hoping to move the needle a little bit farther for Northwood on campus as far as sustainability goes.
Nice.
So, yeah,
well, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah,
course.
thank you so much.
Yep.
And now that we've explored our past sustainability with you, we'd like to now move on to more of our present sustainability features with our very own student recycling programmer, Luke Kozak.
We are welcoming our second guest into the studio today. With us, we have Luke Kozak, the Northwood University Student Recycling Program Coordinator. Luke, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and tell us what it is you do at Northwood?
Sounds good. Well, thank you guys for having me. I'm Luke Kozak, the Student Recycling Coordinator. I'm basically in charge of the recycling collection on campus and promoting more recycling initiatives. Outside of that, I'm a freshman. I'm in the BBA MBA program, and my undergrad degree will be in computer science.
Awesome. Awesome. So I know you're a freshman, and maybe you haven't had as much time as James and I on campus, but we're kind of coming to the close of your first year. So after your first year of experience at Northwood, what's been your favorite thing?
Yeah, I have to say, just being a part of a community of like-minded individuals who are all very driven students has been very helpful for me, and just kind of getting getting running in my college experience, having all these people around me who are excited about the Northwood idea and being here has been very cool.
So kind of hopping into our first point that we're going to be talking about is how are you directly contributing to sustainability as a student here at Northwood?
Yeah, well, as the recycling coordinator, I go around every week and pick up all our recycling. We're recording it, and we have a GFL bin that gets picked up roughly every 2 months. So since I took over the program, I've collected around 350 pounds of material.
Wow.
And I picked up the program in January. So I think that's doing pretty well. Since the program started in 2022, we've collected over 8,600 pounds. So
Wow. That's awesome.
yeah, very excited
Really
about
cool.
that. I also started promoting the battery and lithium battery recycling program. So we have 4 collection points on campus right now for that, and looking to expand that even further to just get batteries recycled and keep them out of landfills.
Awesome. And I mean, we talked a little bit about, Northwood being a community of so many like-minded individuals. I think part of that community is the opportunities that we have here, right? We are a smaller university, but I think that plays in our favor in a lot of different aspects. So for you to be a freshman and being able to get involved this early in your time at Northwood, that's really impressive, and that says a lot about you and your initiative. And I think that's really cool. And if you keep doing things like that, I think at the end of your 4 years here, you're gonna be very happy with the things you've been able to do, for sure.
Yeah, I really appreciated every opportunity. I participated in an auto show, participating with recycling, just getting involved around campus in general has been a lot of fun.
Sure. Yeah, sure. So what are some plans you have moving forward? You talk about recycling, making it easier for students to recycle. I think that's one of the big points about recycling. Do you have any plans moving forward for that, or maybe some other initiatives?
Yeah, so me and Tom Plasterz, who is the director of plant operations, have been talking about putting together a Project 100 proposal to get some sort of a smaller vehicle that can transport food waste, and getting together a composting for the new community garden that's I think started last year from a Project 100 grant. So we're looking to get some composting together, collect food waste from all of the dining areas on campus, and I think that's another part of sustainability that we haven't really explored yet, but we can definitely develop further on campus.
Sure. And there's so many different avenues you can go down. For me, especially learning more about sustainability in our class here, a lot of it is just doing little things, right? It's not the most flashy things. We're going to talk a little bit with Ken about sustainability as well, and he mentioned just doing little things one step at a time. So the fact that, you're looking into those things and willing to put yourself out there and find those new avenues is great. It's really great.
100%. So kind of going into our third point here. So what are kind of the next steps in educating people around campus about recycling? Because I know there's a lot of separating different things, and you can't really recycle certain things, and people might not know about that. So kind of what are those steps about educating people about how to keep contaminants off our campus and stuff like that?
For sure. It's definitely just education. Media campaign, a media campaign is definitely something that I'm trying to work on, getting that rolling. It was surprising to me before I took this role. I really didn't know much about sustainability. It's surprising to me what can be recycled. I recently got a bunch of like toner units for like a printer,
Right.
and didn't know that those were recyclable. They're very recyclable, and it's it's good to keep waste like that out of landfills. So just making sure people are aware of, what they can recycle and what they can't recycle too, because there are contaminants that can't be in recycling, and a lot of like food waste can't go in general recycling. So it's important to keep that out so we don't get, the GFL people don't get, a large amount of contaminants that ruin their recycling. So.
Right.
I think that goes back to Northwood being such a small school. You're able to actually make a change in how people are recycling because you're able to actually get your word out to our students and really get your points across on how we can recycle better. So
Yeah,
that's
100%.
really a big point at Northwood.
I think just even word of mouth, just telling people, hey, don't recycle this. Hey, please recycle this. That's already helped, and I've already noticed a change
Exactly.
in the collection. So.
Yeah.
I mean, we have such a great campus, even though we're hidden back in the woods. I love it.
It's fantastic.
And, just taking care of it and being prideful of what we have. You mentioned the community, going right back to that. It's something for all of us to share, right? So making sure that, we're taking care of it and being responsible, so that it doesn't get neglected and, our beautiful campus doesn't go to waste. That's really important because I know a lot of alumni that come back and they say, "Oh, I missed all the trees. I missed being back here." And I'm sure for me, as I'm a senior and I'm kind of moving out of Northwood, I'm graduating in May. It'll be the same way for me. So I'm glad that you're looking to the future and you're really taking the initiative to make sure we're taking care of our campus.
100%. And speaking of the future, that's another aspect of the program I really want to make sure. I plan on being here all 4 years and doing the recycling program all 4 years, but as I'm going, I'm trying to future-proof it as much as possible so the next coordinator has an easy time picking it up and continuing on.
Right. And a big part of sustainability outside of environmentally is the people aspect of it, right? We have a lot of great people at Northwood that I think will be more than willing to help you on your journey. You mentioned, a media campaign. We have so many talented marketing students. We have a talented Northwood marketing team. I've been fortunate enough to work with them multiple times, and they're always willing to help students out with certain projects, or you want to make campus better, they're going to give you the tools to do so.
Right.
So I think you've definitely set yourself up for an eventful next 3 years.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Good. Yeah. So we want to thank you for your time today, Luke. As a freshman at Northwood, we're excited to see you grow into your role at campus. I know James will be around for the next couple of years, so hopefully you guys can work on some different initiatives together. With me being a senior and leaving, it's exciting to see younger students like you take initiative and have a passion about something, because that reminds me of myself when I got to Northwood. And, there's plenty of opportunity here for you, and you're driven and you're passionate about what you do. And I think the sky's the limit for you. So
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
It's been a cool experience.
Good.
Yeah. So after taking a deep dive with you, as far as our present practices, we'd like to now explore and move on to our future sustainability with our very own Mr. President, Dr. Kent MacDonald. So with us today, we have our very own president from Northwood University, Dr. Kent MacDonald. So Dr. MacDonald, if you want to take a few moments to kind of introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what you do, as well as kind of explore like what your favorite things about Northwood really are.
Well, I work for you. I'll start with that. So this is my 6th year at Northwood. And so I left Canada to come to Northwood. I was disheartened with some of the things that I see in higher education. Higher education has been most of my life. I've traveled the world. I've been blessed on hundreds of campuses. My area of research is related to high performing universities. So I've studied colleges in far off places like Kazakhstan and the Far East, Europe, Latin America, etc. I got a call from an old friend that said, there's a place in Midland, Michigan. You should check it out.
Yeah.
And that's how I came to know Northwood. And so this is my 6th year here. I've just renewed. So a president typically works on 5-year contracts. I finished my first, absolutely loved it. Lots of great challenges. So those first couple of years with that big flood, 30 billion gallons of water, had to fix the campus in 100 days to get it ready, to get you ready for you.
Right.
That was that same year.
Exactly.
And then COVID, working through that. And it was actually those 2 events that I realized that this is a different place. All of these things led Mary Ellen and I to say this is a special place, special students, great values. Students believed in earned success. So I'm starting my second term now.
Yeah, and we're happy to have you here today. And not only are we happy to have you here today, we're happy to have you at our university as our leader. Your reputation is great. The things people say about you, I can say that are backed up and they're very true. You put the students first, you put people first, and I think that says a lot about who you are and your character. And just taking the time to sit down with us today. Be tough at any other university to get the president to come sit down and have a conversation with you. So,
well, the reality, it gets lonely up there. Get me out of here. No. One, it's not lost on me. I said from day one that my office is in the service of the students, faculty, and staff. So what do we need to do to allow students to have a great experience, staff and faculty to do the work? And having these types of conversations is really good. And so I look forward to it. I appreciate being asked.
Of course, yes. Yeah, so kind of getting into things, I know we talked a little bit about sustainability, and you said you're very interested in the topic. How has that kind of shaped your future vision for Northwood? And how has it been tied into the values that you've created? We have our code of ethics, fresh air. How do you see sustainability working into that as well?
Yeah, this is the first time I actually related fresh air with the notion of sustainability. That's really good.
Yeah.
So when I think of sustainability, I do think of from a broad scale, and that's how we added it into the last strategic plan. We're going into our final year of a 5-year strategic plan, but a broad, however you want to, the 3 Ps and people, profits, planet. I actually started to think more clearly about this, as I said earlier, about 15 years ago. But that was probably influenced by my father.
Okay.
We had a farm. He had a little island on a lake, his fishing camp. And I never thought about, well, this is about sustainability, the environment. But I always knew that we appreciated being outdoors,
Of course,
and enjoying that. And look, I've yet to find anyone that says, let's just pollute that river down.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
right. So I started to think, well, what does it actually mean? And when I was in Ottawa, we actually launched, and this is something you guys can think about, is sometimes you just have to stake your flag in the sand and say, we're going to own this space. And sometimes when you do that, you end up owning it. And the example of that was nobody really owned the across the college scene in Canada, the CSR, the corporate social responsibility. So I said, look, the students are saying this is really important to them. We're going to host Canada's preeminent corporate social responsibility conference. Wow. And from that, we said, this is what we're doing. And we ended up it turned it in to an awards event. Students could, put some of their learning into practice. We had keynote speakers come in. People like Vicente Fox, the former president of Mexico, was one. Wow. Paul Martin, the former prime minister of Canada, was one. And it was a way to start to have conversations about, well, what does this mean and what role does a university or college play in this? And so that was the early start of that. But it was all in the background from from a selfish point of view, Mary Ellen and I, when we're not, working, we try to escape into,
Sure.
and we're getting into the financial and the people side of this, but
Mhm.
just on the more the planet, the environmental
Mhm.
side. In this incredible state of Michigan, we do that when we lived in Canada. We're whitewater kayakers, rafters. I've done a lot of mountaineering, ice climbing, winter camping. Our kids have, gone down the Rio Pescados in Mexico, Rio Pecuari in Costa Rica. We've climbed Kilimanjaro. I've seen the ice melting. So a lot of those things was part of how we wanted to raise our kids, with not with things, but with experiences.
Sure.
And most of those experiences were outdoors. So there was that going on. And at the same time, as someone who's asked to lead these institutions, particularly a private like Northwood, I've said my time here is going to be focused on less sizzle and more steak. We're going to focus on making sure that our budget is in place, that our revenues meet our expenditures. We still have no debt.
Sure.
So putting those, what some might call boring, but fundamentals and sustainable aspects of the organization. It's one of my concerns from the country, is that we weren't going down a path of being sustainable as a country here. So that was on the finance, but the reason I left this last one is if you look in our strategic plan, we actually have a pillar that we call a lever, and that's around our people.
That's right.
And look, I can disappear for 6 months, and Northwood's going to keep on going because we have good people. Our faculty don't show up, we're in a lot of trouble, or we can't retain them.
Exactly.
Or what students when a professor kind of knows their topic? You don't, right? I mean, your experiences that you've had here is a result of dedicated faculty, one just out here, and great people.
Exactly.
And so our job is find the right people, get them on the Northwood bus, get them in the right seats, actually let them enjoy their work. And so when you mix all of those things together, that's kind of where I fit in sustainability. And because I think it's, as I said, I think it's really important. I'm not, look, we might get into things that I don't agree with. I don't agree with, with part of what we believe at Northwood. I don't agree with government overreach and mandating certain things. I drive a hybrid because I want to drive a hybrid. I think it makes a difference, but I'll make that choice and allow the market to drive it. So that's a long answer.
No, that's a great answer.
Yeah, so that's the context from where I come from.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And I'm kind of on the other side of Ethan, where he's leaving the school and I'm only a second year student here. So just from the beginning of things, I've already seen small changes around campus, which kind of leads us into like our second topic here is like new things coming into campus that can promote Northwood's sustainability, because I'm pretty young and I still have 2 more years here. So if there's more things that are coming, what could that possibly look like? Because in my 2 years of being here, I've already seen big changes. So what kind of new things could we see coming for the future?
Yeah, so I'll set the context for that as well. And it really goes back to the sustainability thing. So the neat thing about this topic, it can be a win-win-win. I'll give you an example, is every dollar that we can save that's not wasted on energy, as an example, we can put back directly into the students.
Right.
So when I arrived, it's something that I did at another institution called an ESCO, an energy savings contract, where you find a partner, they put the investment into the capital, and then and so it doesn't come off our books. It becomes an asset to us. We have to bring in deferred maintenance and things like that. But we ended up saving a lot of energy as a result of those investments with a partner. But with our new project, we've looked at it. Let's evaluate these on the life cycle cost. So if it's a $20 million build, the build is not over when it's built. What's it look like in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? But we start to calculate that type of thing. The new CAMS building, the Center for Automotive and Mobility Studies, it's not going to have a LEED plaque on it, But we're going to try to find ways of how do we reduce energy consumption, alternative energy, if it's photovoltaic, or can we capture the roof water, to put through urinals and things like that. It's the
Right.
type of work that I've done before. Is there a way that we can use the way it's positioned to natural sunlight, et cetera, et cetera?
Sure.
So the buildings that we're doing now are all going to meet our own internal standard, including CAMs. That's going to be we have a budget of about 25 million, but after the architects and digging up things and removing the current building, it's about a 21 million dollar building that will be a sustainable oriented building. And the reason for that goes back to, is it good for the environment? Is it good for our students, faculty, and staff? And is it economically going to help Northwood? Let's not waste money.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
so that's one big project that you'll be able to get in your final year.
Yep.
You'll be able to experience that. Another one, the signs went up last week. They might put a shovel in the ground. I know the electrical company's there now, but the soccer field, we're ripping that out.
Yep.
The amount of money that, and again, we raise money. We don't borrow money. We have no debt. So we've raised $2 million for that project. And the amount of water savings and the amount of time that we don't, the inefficiency of having our hardworking crew, mowing it and putting, I'm not even sure what the lines are made of now, but some stuff probably can't be that great for you. We've had to work with the city in terms of where does the runoff of that go, and we've got that sorted out. And so those are a couple big projects. I think I met with a guy, an alum actually, Nico Garzeros, who has an electric station company. He's done stuff all over the state. And he's just come up with a new product. So we have the 2 plugins on campus now. His product is, instead of putting in, more and more of those, think of them as kind of extension cords.
Okay,
so when you pull your car in, you come in the morning, you're charged up by noon, but you have classes all afternoon. Nobody else can get in there. The system just has a way for me now to pull my hybrid in, pull it in, and as soon as you're finished charging up, it flips the energy over to mine. So there's a lot of those types of things that we're trying to think about on the environmental front.
Exactly.
And look, we have to be aware, these are what you as students are expecting now.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so just being attuned to that it's no longer a nice to have. People expect to be on a beautiful campus, as we said, in the woods, but be consistent as well with what we believe in, and the environment is one of those.
Exactly. And I think that expectation is high. But from what I've seen with the CAMS initiative and everything like that, and the new building coming in, I will say I'm very excited for James and, some of the younger students who are going to be able to see that stuff.
And when you come back.
Exactly. Right. I'll be back for sure. I want to see it. I would love to get back involved with automotive programs.
Great. Thank you.
And I think it would be really cool for students to, maybe it's our sustainability science class. Okay, let's look at the CAMS building, how it was built, the different sustainability subjects that you touched on, even just the positioning of the building where the sun hits it, so you don't have to spend as much on electricity to heat the building or cool it.
You just gave me a good idea. I think what we should do, I'm going to leave here and say we should be integrating for those 2 years that we're building that into the class.
That would be awesome.
So the students actually come over and see what's being put into the building.
Right.
And something again that I did in Ottawa is we put in that place a massive green wall, which is really a filtering system for it's beautiful, oxygen, all those things, but it's an air filtering system hidden in behind that. But beside it, we were able to monitor energy and energy savings, temperature, that kind of thing. But I think us integrating that build with this particular class is a really smart idea. So that's going to be one of my takeaways. Yeah.
And I think it's going to give students that personal attachment to the building too, because I don't know about James, but as an aftermarket major, Sloan is the aftermarket building. So that's like,
That's right.
to me, that's my building on
Yeah, yeah,
campus,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So if students can see, walls being built, they see the foundation being poured, they're going to have that extra skin in the game to where they come back on campus like I will in a couple of years, and they're like,
Yeah.
I remember that campus building. You want to know something interesting about it?
Yep.
And that strengthens our network. It strengthens the sustainability of campus, and overall, I think that contributes heavily to the overall cost as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. That might be maybe something that you could get involved. I mean, you're finishing this course now, but obviously this is important to you. But it'd be a great something to put on your resume as well. That you played some role in that.
It kind of gives students like a why, I guess, too, kind of touching back as to Ethan was saying. You're watching the
Love that.
buildings being put up, you're learning about the different aspects we're putting into it in terms of sustainability. So it's giving them the why they're here, and
Yeah.
kind of fuels their passion really for what they're doing. So
Do you know that notion of the power of why? Have you studied that at all? So people get so hung up on the what or the how. So if you concentric circles, and
Yep.
so this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing. But getting to the why is really where the richness occurs. That's another great idea. Yeah.
Sure. So I know we kind of touched on it already, but what kind of sustainability aspects have you seen that you think are being put into student life on campus? Obviously, the new buildings are great. Classes are going to be better. We're going to have better technology, new experiences. Is there anything else on campus in terms of student life that you could kind of share with us?
Yeah. So Mary Ellen, actually, when she was a principal, and she's the happiest retiree. It actually gives her lots of time to do stuff at Northwood.
Sure.
She's
Yeah.
First lady, and she loves students as much as I do. At her elementary school, they had an environmentally green program. So when she came here, it was an observation of hers that maybe we could do a little bit more. Even though there's lots of debating around recycling, I'm actually a fan for it. You trust that the products are going to get to the right place and being reused. But I like buying a new shirt that's used to be a garbage bag or a piece of plastic.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes me feel
It's
good.
innovative.
It's very
Yes.
innovative. That's right. Yeah. And but we've had a number of things, and our alumni have helped fund them through the Project 100 work. And so one of those was the closed closet project. Are you aware of
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, the career closet
Yeah,
on
the career
campus.
closet. So that's another win-win, because I'm a believer in reusing as
course,
yes.
it's so important, not just the recycling side of things. So Mary Ellen and I put clothes in there and jackets
Oh, that's awesome.
and things that now a student going to an interview doesn't have to have the burden of, I don't have a suit. Do you guys have suits?
Yeah.
You do.
Yes.
Yeah. But some don't.
Right.
Or a nice dress for the interview, or a tie. I don't know, something to. So that was a project that we got behind, all funded. Project 100, as you know, is 100 alum give $100. We raised $10,000 and then give it back to the students to do neat things. The recycle program was one of those. The wall, rather than building the wall around the Maury Plaza, and there's a green area there. There's the garden project has been good. I think we could probably do more around composting, with a lot of the food. That might be something that we could improve on. Justin Marshall, who you guys know, he's in the advancement area, really, really creative guy.
Yeah.
We went for a walk yesterday. At the end of the football field, there's that pond there. And we started to just walk through the forest there to say, what can we do here to beautify this? Because it just seems to be a big pond that's not used. What if we were to remove the fencing, triple the size of it, allow more flowers and birds start to using it? And that corner, as you come in, just before you turn left into where South Village used to be,
Right.
Beautify that area. So we're trying to do that. We're working with the city with that. The flood that we had was really a man-made disaster, as opposed to a traditional flood with the dams failing. But we can't allow that to happen, or at least do all we can to prevent that from happening. So underneath the mall walk, we can hold, I think it's 2 billion gallons of
Oh,
water
wow,
now
man.
that will prevent the wastefulness if we ever get flooded and construction and all of those things. It prevents the water from flowing out back into the river. We can hold it in cisterns there. So there's a lot of those things that I think we could probably even promote even more to make people aware. Between Griswold and Minor,
Yeah.
right by the clock tower. Take a walk in there. You'll actually find it's like a little valley, and so we're having conversations about how can we beautify that as well. Keep a lot of the trees, but again, allow us to do some neat things with some natural plants. And again, just we're a small place. We
Right.
don't have the deep pockets of the big, rich publics. But step by step, with student ideas, a lot of those ideas I just shared were all student led.
Right.
And that's where innovation occurs. It's not in the president's office. It's in that coal face between, the university and what on the student's mind, and then just letting them, do it. The worst thing, the easy thing to do with that is say no, we can't. No, there's a risk. No, we don't have the money. Just say yes sometimes, and neat things happen.
Right. And I think that kind of goes back to some of my experiences. I've been a part of a lot of student-led initiatives, whether it's auto show or aftermarket club, bringing companies onto campus, different things like that. And I think that's really what sets Northwood apart is, it is a smaller place, but that kind of works to your advantage, right? You get to know people in the church building. You get to sit down in front of the president of the university and talk about different ideas around campus. And I think that really empowers students. Number one, it allows them to do something they're passionate about on campus, right? They have an idea. They're not just getting shot down immediately because, I don't know who to go to.
Yeah.
All of a sudden at Northwood, you have 5 different people you can go to. Your professors are great. They're always looking to help you out with different things like that. And yeah, I think it's kind of what you said really shows, and I've experienced that. So
Good.
I'm really appreciative for that.
We have to remember to take time and speak directly to the customer.
Right.
In higher education, it's a funny, so don't call students customers. Okay? So I guess I won't call them customers, but there's only one group of people paying money.
Yeah, right.
Not us. And so call it what you want. But the fact that we're about to start a $20 million building, and now my takeaway is I'll send a note when I get into my car to say I would like a plan put together on how we're going to integrate student learning into the construction of this building. That doesn't come out of the president's office. It just happens to if you listen sometimes and you get good ideas.
Right.
And that's in over here at the restaurants or at the university. It's something that sometimes we forget. And it's a good lesson for all of us.
Yeah, I love that perspective. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Just kind of wrapping things up, I want to say one huge thank you to you again. The fact that you were willing to come and sit down with us and have a conversation about sustainability and just Northwood in general. We're very appreciative of your time. And, I had a great time talking to you today. I'm sure James did as well. So thank you.
Yeah, look, you're welcome. Wish you all the best. Can't wait to shake your hand in a couple of weeks.
Of course.
Walking the stage, and don't forget about us.
So-
So don't forget. Come back in the fall.
I will.
Yeah, I appreciate the time, you guys.
Of course.
It's a great topic, and really honored to spend time with you.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to Small Campus Big Impact. As we celebrate Earth Day, remember that small changes can lead to big impacts. Take a moment to think about how you can make our campus more sustainable, whether it's reducing waste, improving the lives of those around us, or driving economic growth.
Join us in making sustainability a priority. Start with one small step today, and together we can create a more sustainable future. Share this podcast with your friends and family. Get involved on campus sustainability groups, all to keep the conversation going. And with that, I would like to wish you all a very happy Earth Day.